Hi everybody, this is Old Man Computer. My name is Don, and today's video is about cable management for newbies. So, I built my first computer last year, and one of the things that sort of, after I got everything hooked up and everything was working, I was really happy about it. I just kind of was done. But the reality is you're never quite done because you have these awful cable messes that you have to deal with after the fact. And usually, for me, it wasn't a big deal at first, but over time, what happened is I just got much more, I guess you could say, annoyed with it. So I did something about that. And ultimately, what I ended up doing is buying some stuff on Amazon and just organizing some things. I'm not completely happy with it because ultimately there's still, like, for example, a mess around the power cord where it plugs into the power bar, but everything else is largely under control. I've got good cable management for my speakers, for my cell phone charger, power cables behind, cables and so forth, cables and so forth behind the computer. And basically, I was surprised at how easy it was to actually take care of because when you go from this to this, it's pretty good improvement. So what I did, I didn't film my own cable management because I was kind of learning things, but then my wife asked me if I could help her out. And if you look at her room, she's basically got a craft room and a computer room together. And so she's got just a mess of cables for every type of charger, lots of different craft building material. Like she's got like a cutter, an electronic cutter. She's got webcam. She's got a computer. She's got a variety of different things that she needs to have access to. And also because, most of her stuff is mobile, she needs to be able to move it around. And so this is what I did. So the first thing I picked up were these Austor power cable clips in white. They're basically just rubber. The next thing is simple cord J-channel desk cables. And the last thing is command strips. So these I use for power bars. But as you can see here, so like the J channel is really just a piece of hard plastic with some double-sided tape included. And double-sided tape is sort of attached to a foam, a thin foam panel. It gives it a little bit of give. It's nice. It's very strong. And the plastic is fine. It's got some bend to it, but not too much. It's got a lot of room inside, as you can see, so you don't need to worry too much about that. And you can fit a lot of different cables in there. I never really had any issue with it. So, in addition to that, really, other than just matching the color with your desk, there's not really a whole lot to worry about. And they're a good length too. They're about like 36 inches, or not 36, sorry, like maybe 24 inches, so about 2 feet, maybe a little shorter than that. For the cable clips, you've got your fives. So you've got five cables you can hook up next to each other. You've got three. You've got twos and ones, and the two comes in two different flavors. So thin, like that one, and then for thicker cables, you've got a better one there. I prefer the thicker ones. And the singles are also for thicker cables, so it's not bad at all. Basically, for what I paid for these things, can't complain at all for what I got. They have adhesive on the bottom. You just peel off the sticker and basically stick them wherever you want, and they work. They do what they're supposed to do. So it's a good product. It's a good deal. And there's so many different brands because ultimately these aren't something that you need to buy a specific brand for. So as you can see, she's got a lot of cables plugged in down here, power bricks and whatnot. She's got cables for basically every type of thing that needs power other than sort of a computer. So her monitor, computer, automatic pencil sharpener, you name it. It's back there, and there's some dust and some other stuff that's just kind of built up. But if you're going to do this, unplug everything first. Safety, first. While I was digging out around underneath, I found this illegitimus non carborundum, which basically means don't let the bad words get you down. So that was fun. Got to figure out what to do with that. Command strips. So command strips are awesome for hanging basically or securing anything to anything essentially. So for example, putting your power bar on the side of a desk, you can actually just throw a couple of those on and then, sorry for the potato quality video by the way, but basically you can just Velcro your power bar to the side of your desk. You can usually put it in behind if you want to, or you can put it to the side like I did here. My wife needed to have access to this, so I decided that it would be better to keep it there. And then you just sort of, the only things you really need to keep are your power cables. My wife has two power bars, so that's what those plugs have to basically stay where they are, but everything else can be routed up through this J organizer, this J cable organizer, and as you can see, there's a lot that needs to go in there. So for the J-shaped cable router is really pretty self-explanatory. All you got to do is take your plastic bracket, throw it on the floor, make sure it's clean on the back, peel off the adhesive on one side of it. Doesn't really matter which one in these cases. It's the same adhesive on all sides. And then just try to, as best you can, line it up and secure it. I like to push from the middle outwards because it sort of gets rid of all the bubbles, the air bubbles. But I mean, even if you do that, the stuff is kind of spongy. So what happens is you still end up with a few air bubbles. Like you can see one right there. So you just kind of flatten them out, get rid of them as best you can. It's not a big deal if there's a few left. They're not going to do anything really at the end of the day. But once you're satisfied with that, then you just peel off the other side and stick it where you want it. That's really it. So again, you know, my camera kind of crapped out on me, so I didn't want to leave it. But what you can see here is the finished product, or mostly finished product. So everything's much more organized. I routed two of the cable organizers, one on the side of the desk, one on the bottom, and then I sort of affixed the power bricks for the laptop and the crafting machine to the bottom of the desk. Forgot to get rid of a little label there. I wonder if it's still there. I should probably check. This has been a while since I filmed this. So then you just got the two power bar cords that go into the walls. So, you know, that's it. That's all you need. Everything routes in behind. I could have probably used a flexible sort of shroud or a wrap, a flexible wrap for the cables that go behind her little filing cabinet there. But ultimately, you know, I figured it's hidden, can't see it, so it's not a big deal to leave it that way. I didn't also want to spend any more money on it. I mean, I've already, you know, for the two computers, it costs about 30 bucks all in. So as you can see though, the cables are nicely routed. She's got plug-ins that she can use. Her dongles and so forth, because she uses a MacBook, are accounted for. They all can draw power with it as they need it. And then basically, yeah, it's done. So that's essentially, I mean, really, for beginning from beginning to end, it took me about an hour or two to kind of clean everything off, dust everything. You know, that's something you're definitely going to want to do. And then after you've finished routing it, you know, just sort of making sure you're satisfied with it. Make sure that you leave a little bit of, I guess you'd say, play in the cables. Don't pull any of the cables too tight, because that's one thing I learned is that, you know, you start running out of cable and then you have to completely change how you did things. And just take a look at your desk, see what you can put on it and where you want things to go, visualize it. Once you've visualized it, you know, create the channels, and then one by one, put the cables through, hook everything up, turn everything back on, and as long as it works and it looks decent to what you consider, or it looks good enough for what you consider to be a good job, then you're golden. So there's always, you know, things to keep in mind. But basically, yeah, you don't need a lot, and it can really, really simplify or clean up, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It can clean up your desk and just make it more comfortable to work, make it more comfortable to game. You know, your feet don't get caught in the cables when you're trying to, like, you know, chill and relax and enjoy yourself. So it's a decent, for me, you know, couple bucks, and basically got everything hooked up. And I mean, you can't really see it. I don't show it in the video, but I actually have like an additional laptop beside my desk. I have, a keyboard hooked up that needs power and so forth. So all these things are routed, and you can't tell. It's lovely. I'm not quite sure what else I'm going to do. I mean, I'm probably going to add a box to kind of hide the power bar and the plug-in mess that's down there, so it's just a little bit cleaner. But beyond that, everything's good. So anyway, that's enough rambling from me. So hope you learned something. Please leave any comments you have if you think that there's alternative ways to do this, or better ways to do this, that type of thing. If you have your opinion, always happy to hear from people. If you have any questions, by all means, let me know. And if you want to subscribe, if you've thought that this was okay. I mean, obviously, I'm not a big YouTuber, so quality on the video and whatnot is low because I don't have a dedicated camera for it. I was basically just shooting it on an old cell phone, and so yeah. I mean, if you'd like to subscribe, I appreciate it. I love the help. Give the video a like, and I'll put some links for the products that I use down in the description. So anyway, everybody, that's it. I'm done. Have a good night.